B'sha'a Tova. That's the traditional thing that we say when we find out the great news that someone's pregnant, that someone's expecting. We say B'sha'a Tova. It should be in a good time. And it's almost a blessing for the mother, for the pregnancy, and that the birth should happen in the right time. Generally, when we hear good news and there's a celebration in Jewish tradition, we say Mazel Tov. But here we say B'sha'a Tova, and we only say Mazel Tov at the birth because what's happening right now is still something in potential. When a woman is pregnant, there's a very great potential that's going on. We're in the world of potential, but the actualization of it only happens at the birth. So it's not yet a Mazel Tov. And the soul is not yet in the body. That happens at birth. The soul is sort of hovering around the fetus, but it doesn't actually enter the body until the birth. So there's a lot of potential going on, but it's not yet actualization. And therefore, we use the expression B'sha'a Tova. So what is actually going on in the womb at this time? There's a very beautiful description in the Talmud, and it says that there's a lamp is lit for the unborn child. There's like a candle that's shining above the head of the unborn child. And with its light, he peers out and sees from one end of the world to the other end. So there's this candle that's shining above the head of the unborn child, and it gives the child a vision to see from one end of the world to the other. What exactly does that mean, from one end of the world to the other? There are many different interpretations, but they see the full gamut of history. They see from the beginning of creation all the way to Mashiach. They see the big picture. Once a child comes into this world, and all of us, we only get a tiny little sliver of vision. We see only a very small slice of this world. And often the world seems so unfair, and the world seems so stressful. But when you see the big picture, you can see the cause and the reasons for everything. So the child has that incredible vision. And the reason that we have this vision when we are in the womb is to give us hope and to help us get through situations even after birth, because we had that vision. We know that there's something deeper, there's a higher reality. So that the fetus is in a situation, they're in a world of total truth, where they see things beyond just the material, they see things in its depth. So that's what they're seeing at this time. There are no days on which a person experiences more bliss than during those days in the mother's womb, the Talmud goes on to say. So the child is in a very blissful situation. Its food is being provided for. It's got the comfort and security and safety of being in this womb. It's very, very happy at this time. They teach the unborn child the entire Torah. So there's an angel that's teaching Torah to the unborn child while it's in the womb. So this is a bit of a description of what's going on for the child, for the fetus. And it's a very beautiful description. It says that after the child comes out of the womb, an angel comes and touches the child on the mouth, and he forgets everything. He forgets that vision, and he forgets the Torah that he learned while he was in the womb. Now, so what was the purpose of it? Why did the child learn Torah? Because when you've learned something, even if you've forgotten it, there's still that residue, there's still that memory. And when you relearn it, because when we're learning Torah, we're actually relearning it in our life, it resonates with us, and we connect to it more deeply. And we can say, that idea, it feels so true. I feel like I always knew it. And in a sense, that's true because that's what's happening before we actually come into this world, when we have the correct vision and we can see truth. And that's what the unborn child is going through. The mother who's housing all of this, she's got an angel inside of her. She's got intense light going on. The Torah is being taught. It says that she is like the ark that holds the Torah. Just like in Shul, we have an ark that holds the Torah. The woman is like an ark. She's like a walking ark, containing this intense light. And sometimes because of that intensity, it can also come out in different ways. Intensity can come out in sometimes, we feel very emotionally intense when pregnant. We might behave in ways that we never imagined that we would, and things that never would upset us, or things that we never thought were emotional, we're suddenly crying because there's this holiness and intensity that's going on. Now, because of this holiness as well, the woman, while pregnant, whatever she does, whatever she eats, sleeps, whatever she's doing is also a holy act, because she's not just doing it for herself, but she's doing it for her child. So she's completely selfless at this time. And sometimes you feel like you're a little bit selfish and that you need to sleep more and you need to look after yourself more. Please indulge, because you're not doing it for selfish reasons. You're doing it on the contrary for selfless purposes, that you really are doing this for the unborn child. So every action at this time is also holy. Now, the child is also compared to a seed. And just like a seed, if it gets even just a tiny minor scratch on it, then it will affect the growth of the tree or the plant that will develop from it. So too, when the fetus is in the womb, it's considered like a seed. And as it grows, it gets stronger and stronger. And the way that we behave and the interaction that we have has a tremendous impact for its future. And therefore, we try and add any sort of holiness or in mitzvot at the time of pregnancy. We want to try and incorporate as much holiness as possible so that the atmosphere that this little seed is being planted in will be the most pure. And therefore, there is a custom to give charity every day when pregnant, to check the mezuzahs in the house, or if someone doesn't have mezuzahs yet, to put up mezuzahs, which is added protection, or to start putting on tefillin for the father to start putting on tefillin, or to, if he does already, to check those tefillin at this time is also an additional holiness and protection that we're giving to the fetus. So we try and really monitor our behavior, that it should be as positive as possible, as spiritual as possible, and our mind, our mind, the frame of mind that we're in should be as warm as possible and giving off good energy. There's also an idea that the woman should go to the mikveh in the 9th month of pregnancy. That's another custom. If a woman has not gone to the mikveh before conception, then it's not just a custom, but it's actually a mitzvah, and she should go as soon as possible to the mikveh, and that also has a very deep impact on the child. So going to the mikveh is another custom, or to go in the 9th month. And the idea of the mikveh, something very beautiful, is that when a woman goes to the mikveh, she's actually compared to a child that's in the womb, just like the child surrounded by this amniotic fluid, which gives it all its nutrition. So too, when a woman enters the mikveh, she goes in a fetal position, and she's surrounded by holiness and godliness, which gives her nourishment. So there's almost like this mirroring that you're doing when going into the mikveh during pregnancy, and it's a beautiful connection to the unborn child, and it adds in their holiness and their purity. Now, there is also a custom not to buy anything for the child until they're born. This is a custom. It's not a law, so if you do, it's okay, but it is a custom. And the idea of this is that it's not so much a superstition that, oh no, something wrong is going to happen if I prepare too much as we're letting go of our control and we're putting ourselves in Hashem's hands. We're in a very vulnerable situation during pregnancy, and we just want to sort of let go. And when the right time comes, we're going to buy everything, so you can do your research and you can choose things, but maybe not yet to purchase it and to say, this is going to, the cot needs to go over here and the picture frame over here. And we're just going to wait and we're going to see. And in the right time, we're going to enjoy. Anyway, so B'Shah Tova, I wish that your pregnancy should go very smoothly and that you should have a healthy child, easy birth, healthy child, and of course, lots and lots of nachas from your beautiful children. Thank you.